Welcome back, chemistry fans. Today, what we're going to do is our first of a couple stoichiometry laboratories. So we're actually going to start with a material and be able to do the calculations to predict how much it will end with. All right, so let me turn my camera on to the other screen and we will get started. Here we go. Okay, so what you can see, actually, before we do that, let's jump into it. Let me show you what we're going to work with. Okay, so what we're going to work with is vinegar. That's one of the reactants in this. And then we're also going to work with the old baking soda. So these two are going to come together in combination, and they are going to do your traditional volcano. What you didn't know when you made the volcano, you saw the fizzing, but there were two other products that you kind of just escaped and didn't think much of. We're going to deal with those. I'm going to show you what that chemical reaction is after I flip my camera. And then I will show you what that is right now. Okay, so these are the materials. This is vinegar, this is baking soda. So they are going to react together and they are going to form a couple of different products. They are going to form, first off, water. So here's one of the H's, here's one of the H's, and it's also going to then steal one of the O's from here. So carbon dioxide, surprisingly, is formed. That's where the bubbles come from. And then the leftover stuff is where we get our product. And it's going to be sodium acetate, C2H3O2. So all of this balanced out miraculously without us even having to do any coefficients. It all just worked out nicely there. One of the byproducts, or the byproduct, this sodium acetate, it's just this white, chunky, crusty powder that we're going to be creating. Okay, so I'm now going to get us over here to our workstation. And what we're going to do is we are going to turn on our scale here. And now I'm going to get the weight of our evaporating dish, and that is 115.49. So I've written that down. I've written down that value. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take less than a gram. So I'm going to tare this, and this will be my starting amount of baking soda. So I'm just going to put in a very small amount, maybe just right around, well, you know what? I'm going to leave it right there. 0.72. So my dish, I've weighted. My baking soda, I've got 0.72 grams. All right, now we're going to create the volcano. So a little bit hard for you to see. Let me see. I've got the material in there. What we're going to do next is we're just going to slowly add in our, let's see if I can get this where you won't see the reflection. There, a little better. There we go. And what it does is it sizzles. And so we're going to add a lot excess of the vinegar. And I'm going to do some stirring here to make sure all of that baking soda gets in contact with our vinegar so that we have a perfect reaction. Now, part of the error of this is that you can feel that there's little bits of the bubble that have carried away probably some of our product in the process. So I'm going to add a little bit more vinegar here, but it appears that my reaction has pretty well occurred here because addition of a little bit more vinegar, and there's no more sizzling anywhere that I go here. So it looks like I've pretty much caused the completion of the reaction. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put this then onto the hot plate. And we are just going to allow this to cook. But because, again, it does boil over, I am going to put a protective barrier on it for myself and for the cooktop here so that it does not, cause issues with the counter. All right. I'm going to pause and I'm going to come back and we're going to then get the weight of this final product so that we know how much we have left over. So thank you very much. Hold on. Be right back. You can see steam is starting. You can maybe hear that it's starting to boil. So we're getting progress. Okay, so what you can see now is that I clearly have changed over to a newer solid. It's in fact looking like it's probably burning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off of the heat. I'm going to set it down, let it cool for a few minutes, and then we'll heat, and then we'll get our final weight. Okay, material has sufficiently cooled. I can touch it for the most part. So let's get a final weight on this here. This will be the evaporating dish plus the product on there. So 116.15. All right, now we have all of our masses, so we are good to go. So let me come over here now to our math work. And let's try and figure out what we got to do here. So I've got my original, so I need to subtract it from my after weight. All right, so I've got 116.15 minus 115.49. I get 0.66 grams. What is that? That's that material there. That's how much of that material I got. So let's do the math. Let's do the stoichiometry and see how much I should have produced versus how much I actually produced. So if I look at this, I started with 0.72 grams. So let's put that over the ratio. The X is going to be over here. So 0.72 divided by 1, because there's coefficients 1, 1, they're all balanced. Now I'm going to add up my weight of this compound here, this vinegar. I'm sorry, baking soda is where it should be. Shouldn't be over here. Should be on baking soda. So I've got 23 for sodium, 1 for the hydrogen, 12 for the oxygen, 48 for the, 12 for the carbon, 48 for the oxygen. So that is a total of 84. How much I should have produced is this weight over here. Again, coefficient of 1, the weight of sodium 23, 2 carbons is 24, 3 hydrogens, and 2 oxygens. That weight is 82. Not much of a difference, actually. All right, so you're expecting then this shouldn't be too much different from where it was. So let's cross multiply and solve for X. This is how much I should have gotten. 0.72 times 82 divided by 84. And I should have gotten 0.7 grams. Well, notice what I got. I got 0.66. That's not bad. So let's do a percent error now. Percent error is right minus wrong, or wrong minus correct over correct. So wrong is I'm going to go with 0.7 minus 0.66 over the correct value of 0.7. And what I end up with is 0.057 times 100% means I got 5.7% error. Pretty doggone good for a little crummy lab that we just did together using baking soda and vinegar. All right, so I am going to turn this back over to you now. So it is your turn to do this laboratory. Thank you very much for your time. I will talk with you again soon. Farewell. Bye-bye.